Okay, so obviously VOCL is under a lot of pressure to the downside, right? But there are a couple signals that are indicating a potential temporary floor. Let's go ahead and go over those conditions now. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a VOCL technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this Thursday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. All right, so yes, particular to a falling or a descending channel, right? We can see here that we're writing it on the 12-hour chart, and we could very well be facing the floor right now. Okay, so this is actually a pretty typical setup because of this. So usually long traders tend to look at the strategy somewhere along like this, right? This is an ABCD strategy, right? So this would be B, right, and then this would be your C, and then we have one more coming up, which could be D, right? So that's a pretty, it is a very, very typical trading pattern, trading setup, right? It's one of the most popular strategies in the trade. Okay, you guys. So if that is in fact the case, then the price action is actually starting to kind of rebuttal from that downside. In anticipation of this take profit at D. Okay, so now the D target at 1463 is very particular too. I'm not saying that we're going to go there over the span of one day, because please notice here that it took several 12-hour iterations for us to get to this level in the first place, right? Also here, it's over the span of just a few days, right, or a couple days. So please notice that the 1463 topside target that we're looking at here is actually in line with the 3.618 at 1485. Okay, so not only that, is that if we jump in to the 6-hour Gaussian channel, we can actually see that the mean band, which is something that we use very often as resistance, right, the center band, just like this right here, right? We use the center band as resistance. We used it as resistance here, right? We use it as support even. Support. We tend to use that as resistance a lot, and support. Right, so all of these iterations here, just so you can kind of see just how much it is used, right? So the location of that mean band is, guess where? It is at, I would say, about 1472, right? So 1472 at that mean band, it just so happens to rhyme with the 1463 of the top side ABCD strategy, and also the geometrics at 1485 with the 3.618, right? So it's looking pretty good. The reason why I'm saying that we could face a massive resistance at this area of about 14, in the 14s, right, between 14 and 15, is for a few reasons, right? So first of all, we have test number 1 of the resistance. This is test number 2, and we're about to go to test number 3. Right, so usually test number 3 of a descending channel signals short sellers to open pretty aggressively and take the price to the downside, right? The test number 3 is usually the biggest capitulation event, for a descending channel, right? So this could be, I guess it could be a pretty nice opportunity, right? Let's just take into account that we were to make it from this point all the way up to that point, right? That would be a almost 67% move to the upside. So that's pretty large. Right, you guys, so I'm just saying, right, so just to be very careful as something that does go up into this area here and starts, trying to get rid of this resistance zone, you're starting to kind of jump into an area that's very bull trappy, right? So usually that could lead to imminent death there, right? So, wrong choice of words. I'm just saying that it could, play against your portfolio very heavily. So that is a range though. Okay. So then the range just so happens to be like, for example, all these candles here, this candle wick high here, right? This candle wick high here, all of it has to do with all the way to the right-hand side. You can see the fib, right? The fib ratios over there. You can see the 4.236 at 1610. That is the range that we're looking at for resistance, right? So just like this here, we're looking at that form some type of a very, very significant bull trap area. Okay, you guys, so we would have to be very careful when moving on to that location there. Okay, you guys, so now let's go ahead and move on to the next topic here. And this is another reason why I'm saying that we could be facing a floor for now, right? So it's this, actually. Please notice that we have upside pivots on the stochastic momentum 30-minute, right? And we're actually starting to kind of expand here from the critical volatility zone. Now, as we jump up the time frames, please notice that now the 30-minute is affecting the hourly with an upside pivot, and this is now deeper into contraction. Right now, look at the bi-hourly. The bi-hourly is starting to get that curl up from that EMA 3, and the SMA 14 is losing that bear strength. We're starting to increase volatility, crossing the moving average represented by that pink line, right? The volatility component itself is that spectrum line, and remember, volatility is direction neutral. Okay, you guys, so what I'm essentially saying here, even the 4-hour, check it out. The 4-hour is actually finding that little curl up on the leading indicator EMA 3. Increasing volatility here as well. And now this one is beyond the moving average, okay? Let's see, the 6-hour is starting to get the little tiny curl here on that EMA 3, increasing volatility as well. The 8-hour also actually getting that little pivot towards the upside. And of course, the 12-hour hasn't been reached just yet. Okay, so what we're looking at here is that with enough thrust, if there is enough thrust, if sentiment so feels like it, then we can actually start increasing and start that domino effect, right? We can start kind of dropping the first domino into the next domino, which then cascades into the next one and into the next one and into the next one, right? In higher time frames as we go, thus increasing the chances of a continuation to the upside, which would be indicative and also very reminiscent of what we're looking at here, right? So for us to continue to the upside to eventually reaching our take profit D target. All right, you guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for VOCL, and it looks like the RSI may actually start that as well, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is, first of all, we do have a couple signals leading to a potential very short-term downside, but overall is leading to an upside. So while this is suggesting a downside, it is also in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, which would essentially pull us to the upside, right? We have a little bit of resistance coming up here on the 4-hour, which is the 14-day simple moving average, but this is also in the gravitational zone. So we may very well have a chance to succeed that SMA 14, okay? Same situation here on the 8-hour. We may have that chance to succeed that SMA 14 towards the upside. All right, you guys, and now the daily time frame, of course, hasn't seen the shorter time frame movements, right? But everything looks like it's kind of balancing out there, which could be indicative of a potential upside. Okay, you guys, so if that is the case, then we're looking pretty good, right? So now we would actually have to look at a resistance touch here from that bull trap zone that I'm talking about, right? 1463 to about 1608, which would be a very, very dangerous area before a downside continuation. Okay, you guys, so we'll go ahead and keep an eye on that. Please, please, please know that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. Okay, you guys, but with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.